Hey Gavax here. To continue with our series on budget teams, I want to do a 100,000 stub budget team and who the players I think you should get if you're building a team from scratch. Now, it's only going to include auctionable players. So if you do any team affinities, any XP reward pass, and I have no idea why my recording's looking so choppy and everything. I don't know what's wrong with the OBS. I'm going to research it. I've tried this today, so bear with me. We hopefully won't use that. But like if you do any XP reward pass, collections, they won't be included in this. So just know that. So basically, if you do get those players, you can kind of, just eliminate the guys I got and go with your players there that you choose. And I've done videos on who to choose out of those. So refer to those videos if you have any questions. All right, so the 100,000 stub team. Let's start with starting pitchers as that makes sense. The first one I'm going to go with is this David Price card. Now, you're like, well, maybe you shouldn't spend so much on starting pitchers. And really, I started off without spending that much on them. So let's just filter through to starting pitchers. I didn't spend that much. Price. But I ended up having some leftover after building a pretty decent team, or pretty much what the team I wanted for the budget price. So we upgraded David Price, which is probably one of the best top-end, I guess, lefties, even righties here. And once again, I apologize for that if it's coming out funky. The two-seamer cutter, change-up, knuckle curve. So he's got, 4 different usable pitches. You can also have a four-seamer if you'd rather have a straighter pitch than a two-seamer, but I like movement out of my pitches. And his K per 9s aren't like out of this world, but they're solid enough. And they're kind of a decent pitcher to kind of go get. 8,000 stubs isn't so bad at all. The number 2 pitcher, you know what? Maybe I'll just show all of the pitchers at once, so that way we can just kind of talk through them as we get them. How am I gonna do? I gotta copy over one by one. Blake Snell. You guys know my love for Charlie Morton. Basically, I'm taking guys with good stuff, and you're gonna be like, well, a few lefties here, huh? Yeah, I mean, maybe too many lefties, but for some reason they give lefties pretty good stuff. And if you face a righty-heavy lineup, then I could see, you struggling a little bit. But let's look through it. So then we have Snell here. You could argue, like, okay, maybe he's a little expensive. You could have gone someone cheaper. Snell is definitely a luxury good, and probably the 25th person on the roster here. Even, like, worse than the bench, Snell is here. So 96 mile per hour fastball, though. Curveball, changeup, slider. So you know the cards basically afford this card last. But very, very nice K per 9, hits per 9 on that. A little bit better than Price there. But the walks, he's a little bit wild. So if you can't control him, you could go to like a more control type pitcher. But try out Snell. He's got some good stuff for you. And try and rock with him first. The Charlie Morton, which is the next page. Charlie Morton here. A righty with 97 mile per hour fastball, curveball, splitter, cutter, secondary stuff. So also pretty good hits per 9, K per 9. But again, a little bit on the wild side, even wilder. But you kind of got to sacrifice something. And I decided to sacrifice stuff because hopefully you're not going to be hanging pitches. You're not that bad, but you'll be able to kind of locate a few. Paxton here was another one, another lefty, like I said. He's a little bit more in control than the others, but his hits per 9, I hope, isn't too low to screw you. You might give up some cheap hits and stuff. But overall, his stuff should hopefully keep the batters enough off balance with a high heat and like kind of just break their knees with the curveball, change up, and then kind of like the cutter you can use a little bit like a slider or an inside break the bat against righties type of pitch. And then the last pitcher was Oliver Perez down here, another lefty. So get used to throwing from the left side if you like this rotation. If you don't like throwing with lefties, of course, there's a few righties there that are pretty good too. That can throw hot stuff. Again, pretty wild, so you're going to have to get control. But he is very hard. His pitches are hard to kind of pick up. So Oliver is kind of a little bit like Chris Sale that way. And then that's it for your starting 5. So let's move on to relievers. I'll bring it back. Relief pitchers, we'll do them all at once. I'm going to show you the 2 cheapos right off the bat. And then I'll show the golds that I think you should go grab. I was thinking about spending a little bit more. Kimbrel, I think, was this guy, next guy, was the last reliever I added. It doesn't mean he's the worst, but he isn't my favorite. I like a lot of the other ones. I might have gone like either if I wanted to double up. The problem with guys like, I'll go to them right here. The problem with like a lot of these legend guys, like the Venters 2,800. You can get similar production out of somebody like, so you got 3 lefties too. I might get rid of, no, sorry. I used to have 3 lefties. I got rid of Venters. 2,800 stubs. Too much for me. So I decided to go and replace them with a Kimbrel to go back to a righty. But Kimbrel's nice stuff. So Venters otherwise is like an amazing pitcher for me. He's in my current Diamond Dynasty squad. I guess I'm only using 26.2. 2.36 ERA, which is actually kind of high for my relievers. But anyways, Batanzas has got filthy, filthy stuff. 97 mile per hour fastball. That slurve and knuckle curve are really nice. That's why he's in the squad. Who else is in this one? That might be it. I might go over to the rest of them are closers. Yeah, the rest of them are closers. So from this list, we have Blake Treinen, 98 miles per hour. He's also playing up today, and he probably plays up a lot of days. Sinker, slider, cutter. Technically no changeup, which I don't love, but his stuff is overwhelming, and a sinker alone is beautiful. So try and spam that sinker. The Ozuna is beautiful too with his slurve, high-end 90 stuff, and it can really like kind of break the hands with the slurve. The other card I had was Felipe. Batanzas, Treinen. I saw Treinen. All right, so Felipe, who should be, I think Felipe's going up. So Felipe Rivera. Oh, Vasquez. Did I say Rivero? Vasquez. Changed his name. I gotta stop doing that. 98 mile per hour from the left side. Change-up curve, slider there too. So it's got good overall stuff, good pitch mix, and it's kind of like a lefty killer. He's also got quite a high ERA. I think it's because of that lefty event a while ago. Inflated all my lefties' ERA. But Vasquez is there. And then my lower-priced relievers are going to go back to the classic. Okay. They were actually RPs, not CPs. Chris Sale here. You guys know if you've played events, you face Chris Sale. He is very hard to hit. That fastball in on the hands to righties, sliders away to lefties, sliders even down and into righties. And then that heat going up, down, all around. It's hard to pick up from his angle of attack. Otherwise, I love the way Nishak throws. He's kind of like your circle change. You're kind of like your off-speed, dominating presence to kind of like... You got a lot of flamethrowers. You bring in a Nishak, and they're like flailing wildly at your 70 mile per hour circle change. And he's also a submariner, so it's a kind of a weird look too. So that's why I like the mix in the bullpen these cards, because they kind of play off well on each other too. So a couple lefties there in Vasquez and Sale, and then the rest righties, and 4 flame-throwing righties, and a kind of like a change-up righty too there. All right, moving on to catcher. So who's going to be my catcher? I'm actually going to put his handedness too in here. Sandoval. So you like Sandoval? Sandoval? Your catcher? Yes. I think it's worth trying him at catcher. Now this isn't a move I've made yet, but the way his wrong position. The way his stats lay out, it's not bad. Arm strength at 82 is not the worst for a catcher. He's got good contact vision and decent arm strength. He's a little slower than I like to see, but he's a switch hitter, which is absolutely, I think, underrated in this game. I love switch hitters. Having the advantage against lefties and righties, in my opinion, it adds like 50 points to your batting average. I don't know about that much, but it adds quite a bit, in my opinion. 65, 62 power. Like, if you're playing an all-star, I could see if you want to go more power-focused. This lineup's going to be focused around contact and vision. It makes it a little bit easier, a little bit more forgiving on the PCI to kind of dink in a lot of hits. Of course, your bench is going to have some power. You're going to have a little bit of pop in the lineup, but I'm going to mainly go with guys that I think you're just basically cheese out bases, base hits, singles, doubles, that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a very cheesy lineup, contact-heavy lineup, in my opinion. I don't know about cheesy. Is it cheesy? Maybe. Not really. Will Clark is the first baseman that I suggest you go after. Now, you could go after, if you wanted to do a platoon at first base, I could see you going with something like Giambi for the left-handed side of the platoon, and then maybe get like a righty killer. He's a lefty. Who'd be my righty destroyer? Or somebody that could destroy lefties for the platoon. You could get somebody... I'm looking for somebody with high power. I guess Muncie's a lefty, though. You could probably look at somebody out of position. That could play first base. Who the heck would be my... I don't know who I put on the second half of that platoon. If I went there. Somebody maybe third baseman and platoon him? Schmidt? I guess Schmidt could be a platoon guy, but he's expensive to be a platoon guy for this team. Oh, Chris Bryant. Oh, he's pricey as hell. But anyways, Donaldson would be a good platoon bat too. He's just a good bat, period. I like Donaldson. I got a better third baseman for you. All right, so that's kind of. But anyways, going back to the guy I actually chose for you, doesn't need to be a platoon bat. I chose for you Will Clark. High contact, vision. He's a lefty, which kind of helps balance out my line. My lineup's gonna have 3 lefties, 3 righties, and 2 switch hitters, and not the fastest either, but kind of more of the contact focused, vision and contact kind of guy. So he'll be playing great all the way up through legend even, but all-star. Maybe you could get power because you can actually hit home runs a little bit easier. Second baseman is actually going to be a third base primary. Let's go to the notepad and do Chipper Jones. Chipper Jones is a switch hitter, and I love him. Oh, wait, sorry. Chipper Jones is my third baseman. I got to show you my second baseman. Chipper Jones, phenomenal. Hits the heck out of the ball with that contact. And plays decent in the field. Reaction and fielding a little bit lower than you can see, but if you run into a lot of errors from him, I can see you switching and trying to go with somebody a little bit better. The Chapman's great, and then the Donaldson is great too. All right, so next up was that same position, and it is Justin Turner at second base. So Justin Turner will be second baseman, 43 speed. If you have a problem ranging the balls at second base, I haven't had a lot of issue with like slower guys, but I think having Hornsby there really does help a bit. Not, you'll maybe get like 1 ball every 10 to 15 games that maybe Hornsby gets that Justin Turner doesn't. But Turner's got 71 fielding, which is fine enough. Arm strength, you don't need a huge arm at second base. It's always nicer, of course, especially turning double plays. But Turner at second base, I think, is great. Mid-60s power, which isn't that great this year. Vision and contact again. Wonderful, wonderful bat for you. So Turner will be your second baseman. If we go back to the notepad, when I checked, it was 15.6. Right now he's 15.650 on the market. Let's just do like this. Maybe we'll just put them all out there. Shortstop is going to be Barry Larkin, a top of the order setup guy, but I guess you could say a lot of these guys are top of the order setup guys. Positions, shortstop, Larkin. Maybe you can argue with lineup, because in lineup construction IRL, I think maybe you'd want a little bit more pop than I'm giving you. But Larkin with his speed, contact versus righties. He is a righty too, so we'll face a little bit more righties, even righty relievers. But high vision, great speed, well, high-end speed, and then very good at fielding too. So Larkin, I was thinking about if you like Yount or Ripken better, you can go with them. Ripken's a little bit slower. Yount's a little bit faster. Ripken's like a great hitter and best arm strength, whereas Larkin's kind of more vision-focused and speed-focused, which kind of want like a good fielder at shortstop, in my opinion. All right. In the outfield, who else? Well, there's a lot of options here. But I'm going to go Acuna. Acuna Matata. Now, like, when I talk about the power and the lack of power, he's got good power. He plays really well. Speed 88. Speed doesn't slump. What am I hitting with? 417. And he's playing up against lefties. He hits righty. He hits righties and lefties almost equally well. Vision's a little lower than they can see, but he's played well for me while I've had him. So I think you'll enjoy him. He's got good fielding. Otherwise, you can sub it out with a guy on my bench that I'll show you who it is in a second. Oh shoot, I didn't show you Acuna's stats. There's his stats right now. Speed 88. Am I in the way of the speed stat? Yes, kind of. So Acuna's there. Next up on the list. Whoops, wrong list. You saw all the lists. You saw even the 10,000 stub team. Anyway, spoiler alert. You guys saw it. I'll just show the last 2 guys on the bench then. Damon, Griffey, and then the bench will be Gallo. I think Gallo could be, if you want more power, you could put Gallo in left field instead of Acuna, or Gallo in right field instead of Griffey. Because he's played so well for me in the outfield, especially against All-Star on something like in events, he smashed the ball. But Gallo, sorry, I should do this. Oh shoot, I forgot to update from Chris Davis. I decided to go for it because these are all righties. I need one more bench bat for a lefty. So I want another power bat left-handed hitter. I went down to Olsen. Olsen's another power bat, left-handed hitter, while Story and Sanchez are your right-handed hitter. So, Matt Olson, put him here. $10, $12, and he hits lefty. All right, so you obviously have to pinch hit for your pitcher, and if you need, like, I don't know, anything this lineup has, the bench is very flexible. If you want to say platoon a certain spot in the field, maybe Acuna and Gallo, although I don't know if Acuna I'd want to platoon him, but you can always make adjustments there. So there you go. If they bring, maybe if they start a right or a lefty, you throw in, dang, I don't know who you would throw in for a lefty, because Story is a righty infielder for playing second, third, short. They're basically all pinch hitters, aren't they? And Sanchez is there to pinch hit for the catcher or left field, or no, sorry, catcher. So that way, if Sandoval gets on base, you can pinch run with Gore and then bring Sanchez in to close. But basically, I expect to kind of pinch hit for my pitcher at least twice a game. And then when you pitch hit for your pitcher, they bring in a lefty. So they bring in a pitcher, you pinch hit, they bring in a pitcher to face him, and then you pinch hit. So you basically use two pinch hitters in the at-bat frequently. You'll see that a lot. So they run through two guys. You got a pinch runner to get once you get on. Then you kind of got guys for extra innings too for pinch hitting against for your pitcher. But I guess I don't really have any platooning here. I'm not using any of these guys for platoons. You could focus your bench around it, but I have not here. They're kind of good like bench bats and a little bit of fielding there in Story, and then Gore for the pinch running. So that's the lineup I'd use for 100,000 stubs. It adds up to like I think just barely over that amount, but you can always find snipes and stuff. Let me know what you guys think. Is this a good lineup that you guys would use, or are you guys focus more on power? Because if you have a low end, if you're going through All Star, like I said, you can maybe focus on power. But I prefer contact and vision right now in the way the game plays. But that's it. Thanks for watching Call to Action. I'll see you tomorrow.